Welcome. My name is Thomas LEDFORD, aka Taxman88. I'm here to share in this video the second step uh, to starting your own tax preparation business, which mainly brings you to the irs.gov website again. Under tab Tax Pros, we have access to e-service and renew or register for your PTIN. So these are the areas we would talk about in the second step, along with your business organizational structure. Would you like to start out under sole proprietorship, or would you like to incorporate? Incorporate is a state filing fee, which is additional, which is a fee that varies based on what state you live in. So every state has their own filing fee amount. Some higher than others, some lower than others, and so that's the differential when it comes to incorporation. So when I talk about incorporate, do you want to start out as a partnership, as corporation, LLC? Those are the incorporations uh, statuses that we talk about when it comes to incorporation. So if you don't want to start out with what those uh, incorporation status titles, then sole proprietorship is the simplest way to go. When basically we would take you to the e-file providers application, but before we filled out the application, we would definitely uh, have you come up with a business name. We would have you fill out the EIN online application that we're going to use to put on the e-file provider's application as far as the business credentials you want to use inside your tax preparation service. So those are the topics we would talk about. And the second step should be business organizational structure. And that information will go on the e-file provider's application, and also obtaining your PTIN, which is another piece of the information that you would use that will go on the credentials of your 1040 on page 2 at the bottom where it say pay prepare section. If you ever went to a tax preparation service, that pay prepare section would be filled out with the business credentials on it, based on the name of the business, the preparer, the PTIN number, the EIN number, the address, the cell phone number. Those are the things that will be in the pay prepare section if you went to a tax service before to get your taxes done. And so all that information is pre-configured inside the tax software that you can buy once you get your e-file provider's application completed and approved. You get your EFIN, which stands for Electronic Filing Identification Number, which allows you to buy professional software and work with third-party banks, collect your fees from clients who receive nice, decent refunds who normally pay out of pocket. They will definitely want their fees taken out of their refund. And so if you got a group of clientele that fall into that category, you want to definitely have the capability of having a third party bank that's going to collect your fees on your behalf out of their refund. Then you're going to run across people who won't get a refund. They will have to pay out of pocket to you for your tax preparation services. And then you have a person who might have a refund, but it's too small to pay what you charge to do the tax return. So that's another situation you're going to fall into. But the whole point is you want to definitely position yourself with a third party bank that's going to collect your fees from people who will get a large enough refund where they want to have their fees taken out of the refund to pay for the services that you provide. And so these are the steps we would go through in the second step, which will cover business organizational structure. That information will go on the e-file provider's application. The PTIN is the number we would use to put on the tax returns, because we no longer use social security numbers, because back in the day, every tax return had our social security numbers on them, and that became an issue for tax professionals across the nation about having their social security number on all these different tax returns they were preparing. And so ours came in with the PTIN system, which allowed us to no longer have to use our social security numbers to go on the tax returns anymore. And so that's how that came about. So in the second step, again, business structure, that information goes on the e-file provider's application, along with the PTIN. Those are the things we would do once we've already created a secure account in step one. Because see, without step one being completed successfully, there's no way we can access the e-file provider's application. Only thing we could do in step two is talk about getting your business organization structure done and obtaining a PTIN. The missing link would be the e-file provider's application itself. And so without step one being successfully done, there's no way to get to the application. So that's why step one is the gateway to helping you set up the business structure of your tax preparation service. And then once we've knocked that out, which can be done in one day or a week based on your availability, with me getting with you to help you make it happen. And so generally I tell my clients, your first task is just to create the secure account. And I show you where to go if you need to. And a lot of people who come to me, they already know where to go. They just having issues with being able to create the secure account, because when it comes to the financial aspect, you got to have a credit card, student loan number, home equity, mortgage interest, or auto loan. So if you got one of those things, you should be able to create a secure account. But sometimes it's not always happening right then and there. So if you had those that information and you fill the application and it didn't take, then a lot of times we have to try and try and try until you are able to successfully create a secure account, which will allow us to get access to the e-file provider's application, which is right here. We click on this here, and it takes us to another page. And right here, it gives some information on e-file provider's application. But in order to access the application itself, you would have to know where to go. And so we would go back to Tax Pros. We would click on Access e-Services. We will scroll down to e-file provider services. Click on that. Then we click on Access e-file provider's application, and see if you already got your account already created. Then you'll put in your username here, and then you'll put in your password. Also, they're gonna send you a temporary code to use to get access to putting in an application every time you try to log in. So that's the security feature once you've got an account set up. And so that's how that works. But a lot of people have issues with being able to create the secure account or even get to where the secure account uh, application needs to start from. And so, like I said, I covered that in video one, step one. So when it comes to what we do in step two, we go over the business structure. We go over, let you know you need a business account. We talk about payment processors. We talk about certain aspects of having your business set up on the front end, as far as the paperwork aspect of it. Being set up as a business entity is the main focus on part two. And so, like I said, if you incorporate off top, then you recognize as a business entity more effectively than you are if you're not incorporated yet. Because see, once you incorporate, you can go to a bank, you can apply for a business account. They can go to the website and see if you've got your and check the status of your business. And so that's the key to being incorporated right then and there out the gate when it comes to starting your business, because they can check that out to see if it is what it is. If you're not incorporated, there's no way to tell if you have a business or not, other than the paperwork you must have when you come in, like the IRS letter that's gonna have your EIN number on it, and doing business name, which is a physical document that you got from the IRS. Boom. Then if you're using a name other than your own, you need a assumed name certificate, which you would get based on wherever you live at, your state, or your city, or county. And that's another piece of the paperwork that you'll need to create a business account, along with, of course, valid ID and whatever else they may ask you to bring in to go along with that. And so when it comes to step two, those basically are the steps that I walk my clients through, who part of my coaching program, who looking to start their own tax preparation business. So I specialize and work with new people. So majority of all my people who part of my coaching program are new. And so they trying to make it happen. They trying to make it work. And I let them know that your success is going to depend on you. I'm going to guide you through the process. I'm going to take away you having to figure out all these things for yourself. I'm going to lessen the learning curve because you have me on your team, leveraging my 20 years of experience, 14 as a business owner. But if you don't do the work, don't expect to get this type of success you say you want to have inside your business. So thank you for watching this video on step 2 of the process to starting your own tax preparation business. And I'll definitely see you in my next video.